Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the May 15th, 2024 meeting of Chatham's Historic Business District Commission. As soon as our clerk, Sam Stryber, gets through reading the governor's directive concerning these minutes, we'll do a roll call of the members who are present, and we'll be reviewing the applications this afternoon. Sam, would you care to read that, please?
Pursuant to Governor Healy's March 29th, 2023 signing of the Acts of 2023 extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, suspending the certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Laws 30A, paragraph 20, until March 31, 2025. This meeting of the Chatham Historic Business District Commission is being conducted in person via remote participation. Every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that people who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the telephone number 1-508-945-4410, conference ID 917-218-363 or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. While this is a live broadcast and simulcast on Chatham TV, despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide the real-time access. We will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. In accordance with town policy, the public can speak to any issue, hearing, or business item on the agenda during the meeting when recognized by the chair.
Thank you, Sam.
Here we go.
Okay, now for the roll call. Starting on my extreme left, we have Bob Burns, regular member.
Present.
Then we have Tim Gilmore, our first alternate.
Present.
To my right, we have Vice Chair Darcy Sequin,
Darcy Sequin is here.
and of course, our clerk, Sam Stryber,
Sam Stryber is here.
and regular member Doug Grattan.
Doug Grattan is here.
And the chair, Dan Silver, is here as well. All right, so we do have a quorum. The first order of business tonight will be the minutes, and as soon as the minutes are approved, we'll move on to the applications. And when our clerk, Sam Stryber, reads your application, we ask that you move to one of the podiums on our right, that you introduce yourself and give us a brief synopsis of your proposed project, and we'll take it from there. All right, and that the minutes are of May 1st. Are there any comments, changes, anybody?
Doug Grattan will make a motion. We accept the minutes as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Bob, you weren't here, but, no?
No.
Okay, Tim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam Stryber approves.
Doug Grattan approves.
And Dan Silver approves as well. Thank you so much. All right, now, as I say, we'll move on to the application. Sam, our first one this afternoon.
Okay, we have some signs, 24-64, La Bella Skin Bar and IV Lounge at Chatham Sign Shop, care of Chatham Shop. Application to replace the ground sign located at 403 Main Street.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hope everybody is fine.
How about yourself?
I'm Bob Lacey at Chatham Sign Shop.
Yep.
And I'm fine, thank you. Okay, so the first one here is La Bella. That was the one you called, La Bella. A two-sided hanging sign, 28 by 38. That's white on black, and it hangs from the post where Claire Murray had her business sign. And down on Main Street, 407 Main Street. So we propose to basically we're just replacing Claire Murray's sign with the one for La Bella. So that is an unusual business here. They're a bar, a skin bar, an IV Lounge. IV therapy. So that's all I know about it. It's kind of
All right, well, let's
mysterious.
see, Sam has a little bit more information, don't you, from the sign?
Yeah?
The sign the central permitting coordinator approves, says the sign complies with the sign law.
Thank you, Sam. Also, speaking of that, we do have Sarah Clark, the Central Permitting Coordinator, and Chantel Kilkenny, the Community Development Administrative Assistant, with us this evening, as well as Kathleen Donovan, the Director of Community Development. I think she's still here with us someplace. There she is, yep. Okay, very good.
Jay's here too.
Jay's still here? He was headed for his car the last time I saw him. What happened? Get cut off? I wouldn't miss it. I didn't get out of here soon enough. All righty, Doug?
I have no questions, but it's pretty straightforward.
I'm curious what an IV lounge is.
Don't ask.
Oh, don't ask. Okay. I'm happy.
Darcy?
I think it's a great sign. Thanks, Bob.
Tim?
No questions.
I had the same question. What's an IV sign? What's an IV?
What is it, intravenous therapy for like nutrients and things like that, I believe. I could be
Okay,
wrong.
all right. I have no further questions.
All my questions have been answered.
All right, so Doug Grant will make a motion to signs, application 24-064, La Bella Skin Bar and IV Lounge, care of Chatham Sign Shop. Application to replace the ground sign located at 403 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion's made and seconded.
Bob Burns in favor.
Tim?
Tim Gilmore approves.
Darcy Seacon approves.
Sam Strobert approves.
Doug Grattan approves.
And Dan Silver approves as well. Thank you, Bob.
Thank
We got
you.
one more? Go ahead, Sam, I'm sorry.
All right, we have application number 24-65, Bro Denim, care of Chatham Sign Shop. Application to replace the wall sign located at 641 Main Street. And the central permitting coordinator, Sarah Clark, has determined that the proposed sign complies with the sign bylaw.
All righty, Bob, what can you tell us?
This is going to 641 Main, and there it is, right there. It's going to hang on that soffit. It's 8 inches high by 60 long, and it's black and gold. And so it's just about a little bit bigger than that window and centered in there. So that's about it, 3/4 thick wood sign.
Okay, Sam, do you, what is this? Did you read this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did, yeah, I'm sorry, okay. Doug, any questions?
I have no questions.
Sam?
Well, I mean, you don't have much to work with here. You have only an 8-inch fascia to be able to put an 8-inch sign on because of the
The
window.
fascia-
Because of the window of the door.
You could
and then
pop
you
back
s-
to
you-
that previous picture.
Yeah,
The-
I can see.
The fascia does go up behind the gutter. So the fascia is bigger than 8.
Well, that sign looks like it's sort of centered over the wall between the door and the window. Whereas in the photograph, it's sort of taking off. Oh, no, they're about the same. Oh, no, yeah. It's a little more over. And I don't think either one is a mistake, and so I'd accept either one. So we'll wait and see.
Hey, Darcy?
I'm fine with it.
It is gold letters, correct?
Yeah, right, yeah.
No questions.
No questions.
And Dan Silver has no questions.
Okay, so under signs, Doug Grattan will make a motion on application 24-065, Bro Denim, care of Chatham Sign Shop. Application to replace the wall sign located at 641 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. Bob?
Bob Burns approves.
Tim Gilmore approves.
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam Starbird approves.
Doug Grattan approves.
And Jan Silver approves as well. All right,
Okay, so
Thank you.
Thank you.
we have additions and alterations, 24-053.
Michael's.
Oh, did I skip one? What? Oh, Michael's Jewelry. A sign for 24066, Michael's Jewelry, care of Michael Burris. Application to replace the roof sign on the structure located at 579 Main Street. And the sign coordinator has determined that the sign complies with the sign bylaw.
thank you.
Thank you.
That's different.
Hi, I'm Mike Burris. How are you?
Well, thank you.
The reason the sign was changed is that I spoke with the landlord and the owner, and they said the previous sign was longer and thinner, and that's what the new one is that I just handed you, 2 by 10 feet versus 3 by 6. It is blue on blue. It's, I believe legally I could go the distance of the building, but I didn't want to overdo it on top of the roof. This is a pretty standard sign, I don't know. I couldn't do a hanging sign. The building is very quirky. It's at a slant. And to do a bracket on that building, you had to actually go up, build out, and then down. And with that slant, it wouldn't have hung right with that, with the 10-foot requirement. And the roof sign is what has been up there, what I was told, for the last 20 years. And the brackets are already in place up there.
So I have spoken, Sam, I have spoken to the sign agent, and this complies in all ways.
Okay,
Even though it's a change in size, it's,
yeah.
That screenshot on the building is a little bit, that's not, scale-wise. It looks bigger than it is, but I moved that over myself, so.
Doug, any questions?
Is there any lighting on the sign, and will there be?
There's not lighting on the sign as we speak. I believe the previous tenant just took the lighting out. If it is required down the road, or I plan on doing it. I have a 1-year lease with an option, so if that extends, then I'll put the lights out on
Yeah,
it.
then you have to come back with us for the
Right,
lighting. Okay.
right.
I have no more questions.
Okay, Sam?
This is a photograph of the brackets up above.
There's
They're-
metal brackets. The wood plank is so if we have to go into the floor, we don't go into the rubber roof. That's what those planks are up there for. You can't see them because they're lower than the top of the drainage, but they're there to prevent drilling into a rubber roof if we have to use more brackets that are
I see.
existing.
But the sign here is what the previous owner's sign was, size.
Yes, yes. Theirs was actually longer.
The what?
Theirs was the same height but longer. Theirs ran the whole distance of the building,
It went the full distance.
the full distance.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So yours is a little shorter.
Right. Trying to play it safer, I guess.
No, it's a proper proportion. I like the first sign, actually.
So do I,
It's a
but
little
I'm not the owner of
less
the building.
in your face, a little more sized for the building,
Yeah.
but so be it. Okay, I have no further questions.
Okay, Darcy?
I have no questions.
Jim?
I have no questions.
I have no questions.
And I haven't got any questions either.
Okay, so Doug Grattan will make a motion to signs, application 24-066, Michael's Jewelry, care of Michael Burris. Application to replace the roof sign on the structure located at 579 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Motion is made and seconded.
Bob Burns approves.
Tim Gilmore approves.
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam Starbird approves.
Doug Grattan approves.
And Jan Silver approves as well. All righty.
Thank you.
Well, welcome.
Good luck.
Your timing was impeccable. All right, Sam.
All right, we're into additions and alterations, 24-53 KT Did Properties LLC, care of Antonio Butwell. Application to construct a second-floor addition above the existing structure located at 37 Cross Street.
Good afternoon.
Hello, I'm Antonia Butwell, and I'm the architect for this project, and I'm representing the owner, Kim Carlin. We came in December for an initial pre-conference review for this, but the general scope of work is adding a second-floor addition on top of the existing Ravis offices, which will be a two-bedroom apartment with a proposed roof deck on top of that. The new apartment would sit right on the existing building footprint, but it would extend over the rear deck. If you want to look at the side elevations, exterior elevations, you can kind of see that. And the columns below existing at that deck would come up to meet the addition. And then there would be a hipped roof. At the top, there would be a roof deck with a railing. And for the railing, that will be 42 inches high. The bottom half will be the roof parapet solid, and the top half will be kind of the white railing you see in those exterior elevations. There it is. That you can see the back extending over the existing rear deck, and then the railing at the top where the roof parapet roof deck would be. So back in December, we showed renderings, which you can see on the last page. And we had a stair bulkhead going up to the roof deck, which we eliminated. Nobody preferred that, and it just looked a little out of scale. So we looked through different options of how we could make it work, but really there was nothing where you could stand full height at the top of that wasn't going to be too tall. So we are now proposing a stair hatch, similar to what you see at the bottom right. That's a company called Lamelux that does skylights and roof hatches like that. So you would not see that from the street, and the owner's okay with that. We think that'll give enough access to the roof deck, and we think it looks a lot better than what we had originally thought about there. Let's see what else. And then we also worked with the building commissioner and the civil engineer to confirm the height. I think that was another concern last time we came, was whether the existing spa, which is on the far right, if that was existing non-conforming. And they actually were able to meet on site and verify how the height should be taken, and the official height of the existing spa is 29.6 feet high. So it's under the 30-foot maximum, and we're proposing the top of that railing on the addition to be another foot below that. So height-wise, we confirmed that was going to be okay by zoning standards anyway. And then from materials, on the last page, mostly everything will match the existing. We're not doing any work to the spa portion of it, so we'll match all those materials exactly in color and scale. The only difference would be white AZEC trim. I think the existing spa has kind of beginning to fail wood trim around the windows. And then we'll do the medium brown asphalt roof shingle. The picture of the kind of corner gutter area there was questions because the original rendering was not as detailed and what we were going to do at the corner there. So that's the detail that we'd like to copy at the corner of the hip roof. And then for lighting, all of the office and spa lighting will stay the same, but we'll add those little down lights at the roof parapet at the roof for lighting. And then I also have pictures of railing and the roof decking material. And that's everything that I have.
Alrighty. I remember this building quite well when you gave the presentation before. Bob?
Yeah, the pre-application meeting was very good, so the only change I see is really with the roof deck
Right.
and the hatch.
Yes, we got rid of that stair bulkhead.
Stair,
We
yeah.
brought it up a tiny bit since we weren't so constrained by having that stair bulkhead push the entire building pretty squat, so we were able to give a little bit more height to the actual apartment.
Nice job, so.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you for coming back. No
Yeah.
further questions.
Okay.
Tim?
I like the changes, no questions.
Yeah,
Darcy?
I think you've done a great job. And you said that the only access from the apartment, the only person being able to access the roof is the apartment?
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, and what is the roof flooring? Is that a rubber roof, or what is
No,
that?
it's wood deck panels. There'd be 2x2 panels that you could take out
Okay,
on top of a rubber roof.
We call them duck boards. It's like
Yeah.
putting them on a boat to keep your feet dry.
and all the railings are wood, the new,
They'll be white AZEC.
like ASAC?
yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's it?
Okay, Sam?
I have no questions. It's pretty much what we have reviewed before, and I think the railing, just looking at it, is there a parapet underneath it? Or-
Yes,
So that's
So it'll be,
how you get the shallow depth?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. If you actually look at the bottom, if you scroll down a little bit, the picture of the deck, the wood decking, and you zoom in on the railing there, that's basically what the inside of the railing would look like,
Okay.
right there with those covered chairs.
No other questions?
Okay, Doug?
No, I like the changes you made, and it makes a lot of sense as a really attractive addition, so I have no more questions.
Yeah, just a couple of comments. I think you did a great job. The phone booth is gone from the top of the roof. Which
Say
you
that
had
again, sorry.
before, yeah. After you left and, prior to getting this, thought it was too bad you didn't do like a little pilot house up there that was part octagon, I think you could have gotten away with it,
Yeah.
to let a door in it, but that's here nor there. You did a great job. with it.
I tried, kind of the widow's walk look up there, but it
Like a
really-
pilot house.
Yeah, it was,
Yep.
it still looked a little
No, you
out
did a
of
great
scale.
job with it.
but-
Thank you for listening. My
Yeah.
only concern is that it is increasing the size of this building considerably, but, it is commercial, and you did a great job with it, but I guess we'll hear about the size after it's done.
Okay, so on additions and alterations, Doug Grant will make a motion, application 24-053, KT Did Properties LLC, care of Antonio Butwell, application to construct a second-floor addition above the existing structure located at 37 Cross Street as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Bob?
Bob Burns approves.
Tim Gilmore approves.
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam Starbird approves.
Doug Grattan approves.
And Dan Silver approves as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Have a good
Thank you
night.
for listening.
Yeah.
All right, Sam.
All right, we have 24-63, Michael Turpin, care of Yuri Miranda. Application to replace the roof, trim, porch columns, decking, and remove railings on the structure located at 2533 Main Street.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yep.
Introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Yuri. I'm representing the owner, Michael Turpin. And we're looking to bring back the beauty of the historical look to the house.
By doing everything that's stated in the,
Yeah, so basically, as you can see, we have an old three-tab style look, which is not really, historical. And we're trying to bring back a nice red cedar roof with new roof line trims to make it match existing pattern that you have right now. And also redo the deck, reframe the deck, because basically right now the deck is sagging. They don't have any footings right now. so it's just sagging down. It's actually dangerous the way it is right now. So the plan will be basically install a support wall to support everything, redo all new footings, 12-inch big feet footings, and also replace the deck floor, reframe the whole deck, and change all the columns. So the real, how can I say, question, okay, is because right now the span of the deck, it's actually short. It's around like 10 feet from the door to the edge of the deck. And as you can see on the photo, we have two basically bay windows that comes out of the wall, which makes the space very narrow, okay? So the homeowner is actually looking to get rid of the railings, just the railings, but keep the same nice columns, same pattern, same way, but going all the way down to the ground. We'll also be, in order to replace the roof, we're also replacing the siding close where you have intersections between roof and wall, so we can reflash everything, and replace with matching existing, I mean. So it's gonna be all white cedar on the walls, just around like roof lines, just around the roof edges, intersection between roof and wall, and also all the deck. And the roof line trims too.
All right. Bob?
Should I describe it again?
No, I got it.
I'm a little nervous.
So the railing, you don't need a railing for code,
No,
okay? And the ceiling, the porch ceiling, anything going to be done up there at all?
no, we're just, yeah, the only reason we're actually having to reframe the deck is just because it's sagging and we need to, put the footings there.
And you're going to, footings, and then the deck's going to be mahogany?
Exactly. We're thinking about either, a true mahogany, matching existing, or do a timber tack mimicking the mahogany look.
Okay.
Timber tack mahogany.
Okay, and all the windows are going to stay?
They stay the same.
No
All windows stay the
replacing any
same.
windows?
Yes.
Okay. All right, no further questions?
No questions.
Darcy?
Are you changing the door at all?
No, no door.
Okay, I have no more questions.
Sam?
So I didn't catch whether you were putting a new foundations in for the columns. Is that right?
Okay, yeah, so basically, right now, they don't have any footings, so it's just basically what's supporting, it's basically just like bricks, and it's sagging down. So we're gonna just remove the columns and rebuild new footings so we can actually support correctly.
Okay, and, the house has a foundation?
It doesn't.
It does?
It looks like its own, it does have a foundation, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, is there a basement?
There is.
There is?
Yep.
A crawl space or a basement?
I think it's a basement. I didn't get
Basement.
inside, actually.
Okay,
Yep. Because we're basically just replacing, just doing around the edge of the deck, not doing anything
and
to the
then the
house
deck
itself.
itself will be straightened out and leveled, basically?
Exactly.
Is that what the
Yep.
idea is? So it itself will still be, will it be as much as two steps? Will you have an intermediary step, or will you just be able to step from the walkway up onto the deck?
Yeah, no, we're staying exactly matching existing. Like right now, the deck is like basically around like 12 inches, if I recall correctly, from the ground. So there's no steps, just like,
But you said it was pitched. It had
yeah, because it's sagging down.
sag.
Exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, so but it's really only one step off the. off the
Yes,
ground.
basically, yes, yeah.
Okay, so that's the reason for taking away the railings, because you don't need the.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't need it, yeah, by code, you don't really need it, exactly.
Okay, no further questions.
I don't have any questions, I just have a comment on the application and the project details. This age of structure says built in 1980, about 134 years. However, I think they mean 1880, but then that would be 144 years, so. I don't know
Yeah,
if
it might
that's
be a typo, I'm sorry.
No worries, okay, that was the only.
I got the age based on what they told me.
Okay, that's the only thing I had. I think it's gonna be great improvement to the property.
Okay, yeah, I think
so
it's gonna look beautiful. The
Yeah,
red
well,
cedar is gonna be
I have
outstanding.
no more questions.
Could you remind me again what you were going to do with the roof shingles and the sidewall?
What did you say? I'm sorry?
The roof shingles on the porch? Are you changing the roof shingles?
Yes, we are.
And what are you using?
Red cedar.
Going to use red cedar?
Yep.
Okay. And the sidewall shingles on the dormer in the house?
It's gonna all be white cedar, matching existing, like natural. No dipped. All natural.
You're going to use white cedars on the sidewalls, right?
Yeah, white cedar on the sidewall.
Okay, and red cedar on the roof?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, wow. All right, no further questions.
Okay, so in addition to these alterations, Doug Grant will make a motion, application 24-063, Michael Turpin, care of Yuri Miranda. Application to replace the roof, trim, porch columns, decking, and remove railings on the structure located at 2533 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Bob Burns approves.
Tim Gilmore approves.
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam Stradford approves.
Doug Grattan approves.
And Dan Silver approves. Geez, I got left out of that one. All right. They're on auto rotate now, so anyways, next one, Sam.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Appreciate it.
You're all set. I assume we haven't had any members of the public so far. Right,
We have
moving
not.
so fast.
Our next applicant, the pre-application is not here yet. I believe he is running just a little bit late, so.
All right, what are we, Chatham Manor?
Shall I read it?
Is nobody here?
Not as of yet. He notified us earlier he was going to be
I'm looking to see
here
what
a
else
little
there
after
is.
5, so.
We can move on to the next one then.
We could. Why not? I think they're both the same length. Sure, go ahead.
We'll go- move on to the
Should I
next
read
one.
the
We'll just wait for them.
additions and pre-application conference, Mustafa Akwai, a pre-application conference to discuss the replacement of windows on the Main Street elevation of the structure located at 655 Main Street.
We're going to table that. They're not here yet. They're not here.
Oh, okay, we're going to
So
just
we're gonna
table
go
it.
on to the demolition.
You want to move on to the next one?
I'll move on to the next one, is the demolition,
What are you going to do?
24.
Wait, or no?
What?
What do you,
24-68, the Chatham Manor, care of LLC, care of Eastwood Companies. Application to demolish the entire west wing and front center roof section on the structure located at 791 Main Street.
Mr. Chair, I need to recuse myself from these next two applications.
All righty.
Good afternoon, Bill Riley on behalf of Eastwood Companies. Susan Ledoux is here as well,
Bill, Sue?
and Don Poyan is here.
Of course, I never recognized Bill. What's up, Bill? I know what's up. What's up?
We had
What's
a
your side of the
fire.
story?
We had a fire,
Yeah,
so they want to tear the place down and build a nice new one.
we came to that conclusion. So what happened in the meantime? How did it come down on its own?
Well, we're gonna blame the new portal that they use in the building department, because whoever was working on the computers saw that the HBDC had approved the project. So he gave him a permit to go tear the place down. What he didn't know was, he didn't look and see what actually had been approved. So we're here to apologize, and we would like to complete the demolition because it's unsafe as it sits there right now. I did discuss this with Sarah and Jay earlier today, and right now, the principal thing we want to do is make sure the building is safe. Did you guys get the correspondence from the fire chief?
Yeah, Sue, is it all right if I use the familiar? Sue, yeah, okay. So actually, Sue filed for administrative approval to replace some windows and doors initially. Is that the case, Sarah? I believe we have a,
Originally, they had applied for an exemption to replace windows, doors, decking, siding, and roof shingles that were damaged by the fire. Initially, they had applied back in December. That application or that exemption was denied by the two members that went out there because it wasn't a like-for-like replacement.
Because a window would require framing change.
Yes, there would have been some framing changes,
Right.
so it wasn't a repair of it.
So there was nothing about demolition in that one.
Correct. Then in January, or later in December, they filed another application for exemption, had changed the items that were different from what was historically there, so that way everything matched the existing. And they were approved for that, and it was they were approved on January 24th of '24, and that was ratified by this commission on February 7th of '24.
And was there any mention of demolition?
There was nothing shown in the elevations, and nothing in the description of work.
Right. Bill, what I'd like to hear from Sue or you or the owner of Eastwood Company was how they took it upon themselves to call a contractor and take down that portion of the building?
Well, they filed a permit request, which was granted. Don can explain.
Good afternoon, Don Point. I'm
Good
the
afternoon.
president of Eastwood Companies. I'm not the owner. First of all, our apologies, I guess, is the first thing to say. There's nothing else to say. We weren't trying to do anything intentionally to avoid coming to the HBDC to deal with this situation. I think this is the first instance. Susan Ledoux has been working from her home in Vermont since COVID, and I think it's worked very, very well. She's extraordinarily productive, but I think this is the first instance where not having her in the office actually has had an implication, because there have been a lot of discussions about what the owners of the property wanted to do with the property, whether we were going to put it back together as it was, whether they were going to try to see if they could tear it down and put up a single-family residence. There were a lot of iterations that went through as they were wrestling with, frankly, as they were wrestling with their insurance company for an interminable amount of time to try to get settlement on their claims. So through all of those iterations, one of the iterations was to, basically to do what Susan applied for in the application, and then subsequent to that, we changed that and we didn't follow through on coming back to the HBDC. When we did apply to the building department for the permit, the plan said that we were going to tear down that portion of the building. As Bill alluded, I think this is, again, one of those unfortunate circumstances with the automation of the building permit process, where there is now, it says all of the folks that are reviewing things, and it said that the HBDC had approved, but it didn't say what the HBDC had approved. So they saw the box that had been checked, the building permit, demolition permit was issued to us, and we proceeded. And it's really.
I think it did state, didn't it, Sarah, the second one?
Any of the regulatory boards the applicants are required to go to, those approvals are uploaded to the portal. And it did show the exemption for those specific items.
Okay.
So that's what I signed off on.
Yeah.
I want to know where the disconnect came from. I know that company, if it's new to town, I don't think it's new to town. I think they know what the protocol is. And thank you very much. You answered the question I've been wrestling with for a week about Sue. I know she's very knowledgeable, and she knows her ways around the ropes, just like Bill does, And I certainly would have expected her to have followed the correct protocol for this. But anyways, my other question to you is, outside of assuming that you were just going to take it down, what made you assume that it needed to be taken down? Was there any type of report from a construction engineer? Or?
We did have a structural engineer go through the building early on after the fire to determine what the condition of the existing structure was and the foundation, and we did not think it needed to come down. It was not salvageable as it was.
People keep on saying it needed to come down. Who made that determination?
Well, if I could interrupt for just a minute. I saw a picture of the section that had been partially demolished, And having experience with a fire myself in a house up in New Hampshire, any framing member that is charred has to be removed. And the entire rafter system in the main section is charred and would have to be removed.
Okay, I thought that was a certain percentage of char.
Well, I know, but it doesn't make any economic sense. Oh, well, let's take this one out and leave that one in. So,
So instead, you
that's-
just take the whole building down, Bill,
yeah,
on your own?
well, they thought they had approval, Dan. That
Why
was a
is the-
mistake, but they
the,
thought they had approval.
So,
The word that's been going around is that you folks wanted to rebuild that section, which I understand was in the works, plans were in the works of the section. You wanted to rebuild that?
The final decision from the owners was
But the
that
building
they-
inspector wasn't sure whether the foundation was sufficient to support a new building? Is that correct?
We do not believe that the foundation will support a new building. What we had planned to do was, once this demolition was complete, we were going to have a structural engineer come and evaluate the existing foundation, make a determination as to whether or not we can build on it, and we'll get a certification to the building inspector as to yes or no, as to what we can or can't do with the existing foundation. If we can't build on it, then we would be requesting a new foundation.
Okay, the other word that I got was that it came down because you needed to get to the basement. The owner or you were told that there's no way to determine whether that had to come, would support a new building unless the foundation could be inspected. And the only way you
That
could
has
inspect it
nothing
is
to
to
do
take the
with-
building down?
That had nothing to do with why the demolition occurred.
Yeah, and I don't know where you're getting your stories from, Dan, but this was an honest mistake.
I got them from the owner of the building.
Well, I've been talking with him about reconfiguring the interior of the building, but that was a couple of years ago. So, he's been trying to figure out, and he's arguing with the insurance company. But in the picture I saw, where they ripped off the roof of the antique section, the framing members were all charred and can't be reused. So it's unfortunate that it was the antique section that got burned. But, as Don said, through the automation system, there was a slip up, that's all. There's no evil intent here.
Well, what bothers me more than anything else, Bill, is that people just think by looking at something, they know what's going on. You're looking at it and saying it has to come down because most of the timbers were charred. That's not the case. There's a certain percentage of that has to be charred before it has to come down.
right.
So it's not, your statement isn't 100% correct. You, nor your friend next to you, or I, or Sam have certification to say whether that building was structurally sound or not, just because it went through a fire. We are not. You know that.
Oh. I can tell.
Huh?
I can tell.
You can tell when it's on the floor.
But, no, there's a tendency among workmen, when they come upon a selective demolition, to say, oh, this is twisted, this is split, this is charred, this thing's no good. And they just categorically, because it's easier to build new. It's much easier to build new. Here you were approved for a very selective change to this building. It's a
Sam,
historic
I
building.
understand that, and
Well, wait a minute, I'm just trying to finish. And soon as somebody gets into, especially one that's been subjected with a fire, it's a very snap judgment because it's beneficial for you to go that way. It's beneficial for the workmen that work on the building to go through. Much easier to put a split stud in the dumpster. So I'm not happy. I think we need a little more detailed paper trace of the determination, who said what to whom, who was the structural engineer. That ought to be part of the packet and photographs of what's remaining that you still think is substandard and should be looked at. We at least should have a tour of the building to some extent, site visit. Every time we've had a demolition in this, we've had a site visit to the degree we can safely take a look at what's there. And so that's my take on what our procedures are, because that's consistent with what we've done in the past. And sometimes a whole demolition can be avoided with just selective pieces taken out, sistering in studs where it's possible. There's a lot that can be taken down. And if this were in the old village, you'd be going to the Cape Cod Commission, and many thousands of dollars later.
Yeah, no, I understand. We're happy to follow that procedure. But, the suggestion that this was done,
No, I'm not suggesting anything nefarious. I'm just saying this is a normal human nature, that when you're working on a job, you're much better putting new studs in. But this is an old building, and I think worth pursuing. For 2 applications, you thought it was worth preserving. So,
Good point, Sam. Darcy?
Yeah, Sam has made some good points. My concern is that what it looks like. I know your explanation. Sam has a good explanation for everything. But what do we do now? Do we try to work together and get something done here? If you've already had a structural engineer, perhaps you could bring him in. I'd hate to see this like this all summer.
Well,
So,
it doesn't much matter. Next week, we have the Cumberland Farms.
well, let's not get into that one yet.
Oh, well, I'm just saying.
I know. I would like to see some resolve here somehow. So,
well, so would we.
I know.
However you want to manage it, we'll do it as quickly as we can.
Yeah, looking for the forgiveness. Tim?
I would agree with Sam and Darcy regarding the, seeing some more, shall I say, evidence regarding the structural integrity of the building and the decision to demolish. I think that should be part of the record, obviously, in addition to any possibilities as far as restoring what can be restored, if that's a feasible possibility. I don't know, because I haven't been able to read a report. I'd like to see a report of some sort. And again, I think a site visit's a great idea. I think we all want to resolve the issue. I think we're all on the same page there. But I do think I'd like to see a report specifically from the structural engineer, at least.
Bob?
I agree with all the comments. It's unfortunate that we didn't do this tour of the building like we did in the theater and other places. In the meantime, I went by Cross Street today. Pohamus is moving a house, new foundation. They have a blue screen they put around the fence. Should drive by and see it. I think this has got to look better in the meantime, and maybe put a covering on top of the fence.
This was a rush to get this fence up. We tried to order fencing, and the earliest they said they were going to get it here was next week sometime.
Okay.
Obviously.
That was required by the building commissioner.
The building commissioner obviously advised us that it wasn't satisfactory, so we actually asked the company if they would just deliver the fence and we would install it, so that's what we did. We had our guys install
So
the
this is the new
fence.
fence.
This is the new fence.
Can you put
and
screening on it?
They can put screening on it.
Yeah, because it looks really nasty when you drive by there. It's just, and I don't think this is gonna be resolved in the next week or so.
No, I don't think so. I think this is going to go on for.
It's gonna go on. So I would just try to screen it.
if
Jay,
you were gonna develop this property before you made any determination, I mean, it was, there would be some gutting of the finished materials inside so that someone could come and take a look
Yeah, you'd have
as
to.
to what is,
Yeah.
and then maybe, I mean, but instead they got a front-end loader and snatched away
Yep.
at the roof.
Yep.
To get the roof off, maybe the roof, it's, I can't say anything, I assume you moved expeditiously on the roof. Probably it had to go because that's where the heat of the fire did its worst work. And I can see around that door, plywooded opening, you know, a blackened roof structure. It's, maybe some interior demolition could be taking place, and we could really look at what kind of selective demolition needs to be. But,
I mean, we
you
can
know,
look at it, Sam. I have to tell you truthfully, I don't know how safe it would be to go on the structure at this point. I mean, in terms of the historic side of it.
That's what we need to know.
Yeah, I'm I'd be
Um,
cautious about that.
No.
Mr. Briggs, is there anything you'd like to say in self-defense or comment at all?
Jay Briggs, Building Commissioner. ESA building permit was issued that did show demolition on it. The portal, as Bill mentioned, did show HBDC approval, and that's what triggered the release of the building permit. But any permit that we issue, it's always the responsibility of the contractor and the property owner to make sure they're following all the rules and regulations of all boards and whatnot. So should we not have issued that permit? Probably not, but again, I think it's the responsibility of the contractor and the owner to make sure they're following their approvals.
Yeah, and we agree, you know, so we're taking responsibility, but just explaining how we got to where we are today. That's all, so just a mix-up
All right.
that one side of the company thought they were authorized to go, and, you know, an enthusiastic.
Well, I'm surprised that, I don't know where the disconnect, Bill, knowing the company and knowing their history in Chatham and knowing, you know, how often they've worked in town, how this could happen. You know, I just don't, no explanation is going to, you know, suffice with me, but that's just me. So anyways, all right, are there any other questions, comments from anybody on the board? All right, if there's a motion to be made, and either of you can make it, motion be made to
So I'd suggest we come back with a structural engineer and give you a report.
yes,
In 2 weeks, or whenever your next
is
meeting
that, are you
is.
doing that? Okay, continue that, right. All right, yeah, you're going to come back at requesting a continuance?
Well,
Yes,
Is that what you're doing?
yes.
Okay, and you'll be bringing back a report from a structural engineer?
Yes, we will.
Sam
Okay.
has something.
I think we could say that they should bring an application that they would have brought if they'd had more time and would had do some photographic
here,
evidence of the
Yeah,
problem.
they've already filed one of those.
Yeah.
We have those, don't we, Sarah? Isn't that what
We
the,
do have the application for new construction, which would have been the next application.
which is what we
here.
usually look at, we have an application here.
However,
No, but
it
we have
doesn't
the
have,
demolition first.
What's that?
We have demolition first.
We usually like to see
Yeah,
what
they
they're
have a
gonna
demolition
build.
application.
Well, yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
So why don't we, what we're going to do is, right, continue the demo one? Uh-oh, I lost my way here now.
Yeah.
What do you say?
We're going to continue the demolition?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what they want.
Yeah,
Well, they haven't made a
24068.
yeah,
Do you want me to make a
Continuation.
motion?
sure, go ahead, yeah. Those two over there get theirs.
I'd like to
You
make,
mean tomorrow they go back to work and tear the whole thing down?
no, they're continuing the demolition. They want to continue the demolition.
No,
They want to continue
You
it to
could
bring back.
understand
Is
why I
that
would
correct, Bill?
misunderstand.
Yeah.
Continue the demolition, like they could,
No.
We're continuing the hearing.
Hearing.
The hearing. Continue
Okay.
the hearing. They're going to come back with the structural engineer report
okay.
and whatever else you could bring. Okay, I'd like to make a motion, 24-068, the Chatham Manor LLC, care of Eastwood Companies, application to demolish the entire west wing and front center roof section on the structure located at 91 Main Street to be continued until
Our next available meeting is June 5th.
June 5th. Is that,
That's fine.
okay.
At 4:30.
We need a second.
Bob Burns, second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Bob?
Bob Burns approves.
Tim Gilmore approves.
Darcy Sequin approves.
Sam Stryber approves.
And Dan Silver approves as well. Now, we can go on to see what they propose to put there, Sam. All right?
What?
Do we have another application?
Read the other
Additions,
application.
alterations.
Additions and alterations, 24-67, the Chatham Manor, care of LLC, care of Eastwood Companies, application to reconstruct the west wing, front center roof section on the structure located at 791 Main Street.
So we'd have to continue that to the same date.
Okay,
Okay, I'll make a motion to, excuse me, to continue 24-067, the Chatham Manor LLC, care of Eastwood Companies, application to reconstruct the west wing, front center roof section on the structure located at 791 Main Street until June.
June 5th.
Bob Burns, second.
okay. And?
Approves.
Tim Gilmore approves.
Darcy Seacon approves.
Sam Stryber approves.
And Dan Silver approves as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Mr. Chairman, would the commission like to coordinate what they can for a site visit
Yes, I think we
with the
should.
applicant?
Yep.
Okay. I will,
I don't
well,
want to do it.
obviously you can't go in, but maybe around the fence as a group, because we would have to post that as a meeting
Yeah,
as
I was
well.
gonna ask Jay Briggs if it's safe, do we
Well, we can
stay
do it
out?
from the road. We
Is
don't
it
have,
safe outside the fence, or?
oh, we'll coordinate that with Jay. We're taking his time up now. He doesn't have to think about it now. You think that'll be possible, Jade? Yes. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Great.
Sarah, the other people, they're here. Okay, go ahead, Sam. Pre-application.
Which,
We got, what's his name not here yet?
I understand.
Do we have anybody, Sarah?
He's here.
That we do.
Pre-application conference, Mustafa Akawi, application, pre-application conference to discuss the replacement of windows on the Main Street elevation of the structure located at 655 Main Street.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Didn't get your name.
Afternoon. Sorry, I was late.
That's all right. No problem. And what are you proposing? What's up?
We wanna, if we could, change these windows
Oh, right.
to make 4 windows for retail purposes, just so we can show we own a jewelry store and we'd like to show our merchandise in there.
All right. I think this window's changed in style too, and, well, obviously.
Hopefully, it makes it a little bit prettier,
Yeah.
the way most people in the town have said.
All right. Bob?
Is this the bank building
Yes, sir.
and retail is going in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the windows are going to be, trim is black?
Yes.
Trim is going to be black. And how does that line up with the rest of the street? So the Colonial
Don't worry
Building.
about the rest of the street. I'm worried
Well,
about Darcy.
This one, worry about Darcy, okay, black and white. Yeah. Any other changes in the building?
No,
Any other
no.
windows?
Nothing now, no.
And there are shutters on some of the windows, side
Yes, sir.
windows in the parking
Yes,
lot?
Yeah, this one is right on Main Street, so
Yeah, I
we're
know what it
just
is. I
trying
looked at it
to-
today. I
We're
drove by
trying to
today.
make it a little bit,
Okay, yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim?
Any lighting, outside lighting proposed for these windows?
No, nothing outside, no.
I don't have any further questions.
Darcy?
I think, you know, we see a lot of these windows along Main Street, and the black, I think, is more contemporary, but the Colonial Building now has black, so I think it's gonna kind of go along with that. I'd be okay with that.
Thank you.
So why the bigger window?
We wanted to look,
What kind of business is gonna
it's a
go in?
jewelry store, sir.
A
A
what?
jewelry store. Jeweler.
Jewelry?
Jewelry?
Yes,
Oh.
sir.
So, right now, there's plantings in front of this window, isn't there? Are you gonna make are you gonna re-alter the walkway so people walk by? And
To be honest with you, we haven't gone that far. I've been on the property 4 times. I'm just about to take over.
what about the
and
other windows around that face the parking
We're
lot?
leaving them the way they are. We're not,
So those are double hungs, right? Double hungs with window panes.
is that what they are? I honestly don't know the terms
They're
of
what?
it.
I don't think they're double hungs at all, are they?
I
What
have
does
no
double
idea.
hung means?
They're solid glass panes.
They're solid glass panes?
That's what it looks like to me. That's what I was interpreting.
That's
Oh,
how,
I see. Well, those are 2 double hungs.
Those are
Those are
double.
double hungs next to the front door.
Going in is no.
The door,
That's what's replacing.
I know,
Oh,
I know. But what's there?
oh, it's double hung.
So what I'm saying is that these new contemporary windows are out of, it's like you walk around the corner and it's space age, you know? It's not Chatham anymore.
my whole intention, I'm coming to Chatham from Falmouth. I've lived in Falmouth for 34 years. My whole intention is to blend in with the rest of Chatham. I looked at Main Street and I said, I'm open to suggestions, but I looked at Main Street and I saw a lot of windows similar to what I'm suggesting, and that's what I'm asking for. But if you have other suggestions, no problem. Just want it to look more retail than a bank. That's all, on this side, on Main Street, you know, that's it. It blends in with the rest of Main Street, sir.
One thing, I would place the windows in such a way that they complement the proportionally. You've pushed them all the way to the side,
Okay,
you know, like the eyes have gone all the way past the skull. You look like Bugs Bunny. It's just
okay.
not consistent, and they're, I suppose their sill is low so that you can rack up shelving behind it.
Yes, sir, yes. Just
But
one
it's-
shelf with
One
just,
shelf,
yeah, just,
well, then it doesn't need to,
well, we want people to be able to, you know, see that there's a jewelry store in there, sir. You know, just,
Well-
right now, they don't see any of that, and plus,
no, I can see, well, because it's a bank, they don't want people looking in.
that's it, that's it. So,
They're gonna see money and say, oh, I gotta go to this bank. No, I just think,
I was just gonna say the Colonial Building has those windows.
Yeah.
Lily's, the old Lily's, and Harry's,
okay.
sort of.
Well, yeah, but it's our job to keep the lid on here. Pretty soon, one guy does one little transgression, like tear down a house.
Do you have the front, Sarah?
You have, the ATM is there too. The Rockland ATM is a big window, I think, next door.
yes,
Well-
sir, yeah. The ATM has a huge window in there.
If there were no other windows like that, you know, I would have an objection to it being historic too, but there are a lot of windows just like that on Main Street. Teal of the Cod,
Do you think you could take the, and center, you know, proportionately lay the thing out a little better I mean, you pushed them all to the side. Could you
The reason,
get them spaced a little better so
so,
that it's proportionally more sensitive? I mean, why are they shoved so far to the side?
because there's a bathroom behind in the center.
There's a bathroom in there?
In the center, there's a bathroom, and that's why we couldn't do anything behind that wall. So that's, I did not build it, so I have no idea why.
I still stand behind my recommendation, even if you have to demo the bathroom.
Okay.
Oh, gee.
No, I'm
But
serious.
that's the only bathroom upstairs,
Why
sir.
should we, because of some quirk in the plan, we have an ugly-looking building?
Okay.
I know you don't
I'm
like
open.
me, I shouldn't use extreme terms,
It's okay. It's no
pejorative
problem.
terms, but in my mind, it's got an arrow shape, but the arrow thing is a little skinny. I don't know.
What you can do, sir, this is a
Stupid place to put a
pre-application,
bathroom.
so
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, to hear you and.
if you want to come back at our next meeting with maybe some, and try to tweak that a little bit, we can try to get you in touch with Sam so we can look.
Any suggestions of what do you want? You want 4 windows, separated? Is that what you like?
Can I
3
just say
feet.
something?
Yes,
Go
please.
ahead.
3 feet,
Go
3
ahead,
feet,
Darcy.
3 feet.
equally spaced. Looks better,
I would say take the opinions of everyone.
yeah.
If I say something that, is different from them, you don't have to take my opinion.
Got it.
Okay,
Got
so
it.
just take what everyone said and
Yeah.
No,
go with what you
she's
think,
she's
and then
right.
we'll see. if it
I
works.
have 2 intentions only. One, to blend in with the rest of this beautiful town.
We only
I
need
love it.
3, you only need 3 people to agree, and you got that already.
Thank you, thank you. And I hope that, we will always
And
show the
now
most
that I know what the
beautiful.
building's going to be, business inside, I'm fine with it.
Thank you very much.
You
Okay.
got
I have one
4.
question, please. There's a tree out.
Yes.
What are you going to do with the tree?
To be honest with you, we haven't gone that far. We can trim a little bit if we have to. I'm leaving the tree as it is. I'm not
But the
taking the tree out.
shrubs will stay?
The shrubs are, those 2 are gone. I have pictures if you'd like to see. They're dead. They've been there, but they're still there and they're not good.
Which, in
But-
front of the windows, they're dead?
Yeah, the 2, would you like to see on my phone?
No, I don't want to burst any bubbles, but that's not in our purview.
No, all right, well, it's a nice tree there, but it's not in our purview.
I know,
So it's, we're going to have 2 glass
We
windows.
lost the one down at the,
Yeah, the library.
at the library.
Okay.
Yeah,
worry about the tree.
again, we're open to all recommendations from you all. I just want to be able to have the customers see that that's what we have. And
But there is going to be a space between the sidewalk and the windows.
Yes, sir.
So you're not going to be able to walk up and look in the windows.
we have not gotten that far in our planning. So what you recommend is no problem. If you think, I would like people to go closer, I
Look
would
in the
like people
windows.
to have some kind of a walkway. There's a walkway, if you see.
I know there's a walkway by the bench, yeah.
So if we can just have them be able to
Can't.
get a little closer. If we can have them just be a little bit closer, that would be no problem.
So you may, in the hardscape.
Yeah.
Yeah, come back, all right, so I'm all right. I'm just a comment that I'm worried about.
If I may, when you come back, why don't you have some preliminary plans for a walkway?
Okay,
All right? I mean, you could just, aerial view, just show it on
Sure.
the site plan. yeah.
sure.
All right.
Okay.
I just got a couple comments too, Dan. Again, like I agree with Sam, I think, the windows, as the building itself is not attractive, and I think it's gonna take more than just replacing the windows up front, and you have your hands full. And I think we need to see a whole plan on what's gonna be happening there. If he wants a walkway or to extend people to go up to the windows, that, we need to approve that, correct, Dan?
Yes.
So we need to see that as well, and then go from there.
Yep.
So I just think, yeah,
Okay.
so, I think you have your work cut out for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's just my
I've been
opinion,
doing,
Okay, good.
My
So
work
you got
cut out
enough
for me for
information?
many years. It's okay.
Jay, I can't believe you're still here.
Thank him for coming in at a pre-application.
We
Better
appreciate your input.
better-
Thank you.
Better,
Thank you.
better that we meet and understand each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you all.
And I want to thank Jay Briggs for his time. Appreciate it,
Thanks, Jay.
as always. And Sarah and
Okay, we got
Chantel.
one more, don't we?
We don't have any more.
Motion to adjourn?
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Bob Burns approves.
Tim Gilmore approves.
Darcy Sequin approves.
Doug Grattan approves?
Sam Stryber approves.
Dan Silver approves as well.